From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Hello everyone, meteorologist Mike Kruger. This is your Tuesday, October 8th forecast for your Tuesday morning, of course. Let's get you right through Kruger's Quickcast. And heading out the door this morning, there is some dense fog for some of us along the coast here this morning. There is a big main fog bank that is working its way into Northern California, really along the coast here. So heading out the door this morning, yeah, you're going to see some of that dense fog along the coast here. Otherwise, sunny skies for the rest of us. We're talking low 60s in the valley, low 50s in Trinity County, Modoc County temperatures in the mid 40s. We're going to get more into that fog bank here in just a second. In fact, right now, so you can see as we go through the day, we kind of have this main area of fog along parts of the coast, but the main fog bank itself will be working its way to the coast today. So I think we'll be looking at mainly cloudy skies through a good portion of the day for pretty much everyone on the coast, even into the afternoon and into tonight as well. There you can see as we take you into tonight about 10 o'clock. Still looking at mainly foggy skies along the coast, otherwise mainly sunny skies for the rest of us. It was a hot day out there again, and yes, Mother Nature is saying no, at least yesterday was saying no, I'm not done with the triple digits just yet, and most of us in the valley did reach 100 degrees or higher. Looks like we were just shy in Oroville at about 99 degrees yesterday, 84 for Elters, so obviously nowhere near the 90s for many of us in the higher elevations, with the exception of Weaverville, Hayfork, and even out towards Hoopa about 92. And in those mid to upper 60s, still pretty mild even along the coast here. So we look at the forecast highs for today, and we've got those upper 90s. So is Mother Nature done with us for the triple digits? Maybe, but again, we're getting borderline. If you recall, we're forecasted a high of 100 degrees for many of us in the valley yesterday. Got up to 102, 103 in some spots. So could we get up to 100 degrees in Red Bluff or even around the north end of the valley? It's not out of the question today. So again, it's going to be borderline here for today. But bottom line, we are on that downward trend with the temperatures starting today, but we're really going to notice that downward trend for the rest of the week. In fact, we're down to the 80s for the valley by the time we do get into tomorrow and Thursday. Now, you'll notice also a chance for showers on Saturday. We're going to get into that potential and why I'm not too confident that's going to even happen, but I'm still keeping that chance there in the 7-day forecast for now because we do have that approaching system and we've got to just be on the lookout for that. Temperatures for the coast, mainly in the low to mid 60s for the next 7 days, but that downward trend for the higher elevations as well for places like Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and the Eastern Mountains. Also, again, that slight chance for showers, but at this point, nothing major is expected as we go into at least the first half of your weekend. All right, that is Kruger's Quickcast. Let's get you into your deeper dive. We're starting off those weather headlines. So we just might be done with the triple digits this year. But again, as you saw, you know, with temperatures expected to be in the upper 90s in parts of the valley, that gets tricky because, you know, you're only shy by a degree or two for seeing a high of 100 with that forecast high. So again, it's just one of those things where Mother Nature's saying, I'm teasing you a little bit here, right? But I think for the most part, we're done, especially after today. A gradual cooling trend this week. That's something I've been talking about. We've got that slight chance for showers near the end of the week, especially on Saturday. But again, we'll take a closer look at that here in a second. Slightly warmer and dry for early next week. We'll get into that here a little bit later too. Let's take a look at that fire weather risk here. No big surprises here, just a little breezy in some spots here in the afternoon, especially in the eastern mountains, but even the valley seeing some spots where it could get a little breezy. So the thing is, what we'll notice with the trend with the humidity, yes, it's very dry, again for today in particular, but we're going to see an upward trend and an uptick in those humidity levels over really the rest of the week. And that's mainly because we are expecting to see those cooler temperatures. And as a result, our humidity levels tend to go up. And also as a result, our fire weather risk begins to drop. But for today, still in that moderate to high range, especially in the valley. But you'll notice, look what happens for Wednesday. We're not even seeing much in the way of yellow, so mainly in that low to moderate range for really all of Northern California by Wednesday and Thursday. So we do have an area of low pressure spinning over the Gulf of Alaska. Now that low per se is not what's going to be moving closer to us or moving over us. It's the energy rotating around that area of low pressure that is going to give us that potential for maybe some showers on Saturday, and then of course those cooler temperatures. But we'll get into that longer range in a second. Let's take you into the next few days. So as I mentioned, we're seeing the fog bank working its way closer to the coast this morning. So I do expect to see foggy, overcast skies through a good portion of the day, and maybe even some light drizzle in some areas here. For Wednesday morning, we're still seeing some of that fog. It may clear out a little bit out towards Crescent City tomorrow morning, but I'd say no guarantees at this point. And then it clears out a little bit here, but we're seeing also, noticing here for Wednesday afternoon, some high and even a few mid-level clouds entering the picture for all of Northern California. We're going to start to notice some clouds moving in, and there you can see Thursday, maybe less in the way of that cloud cover, but again, we're starting to see more of that moving in. So looking at the long range, there you can see that area of low pressure approaching on Thursday and approaching on Friday. Now, it's going to take a while before it actually gets here, but you can see here, as you go into Saturday, see what happens? It just fizzles out by the time it gets here. Now, that's pretty normal. A lot of times what we start to see, and sometimes during these winters where we don't see a lot of rain, these weak systems come through, they hit the coast, they see a little bit of rain, then once it hits over the coastal range and the mountain range, the storm system just breaks apart. And that's kind of the trend that I'm seeing here. So I would say the best potential for measurable rainfall on Saturday is going to be along the coast and some of those mountains west of the valley. But overall, it just pretty much fizzles out by the time it moves overhead. Now, we do have a couple of other systems up for a west around early next week. And that is also one of those things where, okay, sure, maybe bring some light sprinkles, but that would really be the extent of it. But the main impact will be those cooler temperatures, which we'll get into here in a second. There's the drier than normal conditions here expected. Yeah, so unfortunately, we're talking about that chance for showers on Saturday, but it's not looking all that great. So again, the bigger story is going to be those cooler temperatures. So you'll notice closer to us, the orange colors. That's the warmer air that's in place, and the main ridge of high pressure over the desert southwest. But look it off to our north and west over the Gulf of Alaska. You got that trough of low pressure, cooler air. So remember I was talking about energy rotating around that area of low pressure. A piece of energy actually breaks off and develops its own area of low pressure by Friday, and will be to our west on Friday. So still dry on Friday, just more clouds and cooler. Then on Saturday, you see how that area of low pressure starts to open up. So when it's a closed low, that's when it's its strongest. When we open up that area of low pressure and it turns into a trough of low pressure, it's weaker. And so you can see it's getting weaker, temperature's not as cool, and as a result, we see less in the way of rain. Not only is it getting weaker, but keep in mind too, it doesn't have a whole lot of moisture to work with. So that's why I'm just not very confident that we're going to see much in the way of rain, if anything, quite honestly, on Saturday. Then you can see high pressure starts to kind of settle in again, and you see what's happening. We've got another ridge building in from the west, but you see how we have this energy kind of between the two ridges of high pressure to our east and west, and some cooler air kind of pulling down. That's these disturbances pushing through, keeping our temperatures at bay, so that's good. But again, bottom line, just not much in the way of rain from these systems that are coming through. And the Climate Prediction Center is keeping us in that warmer than normal category over the next 7 to 10 days. But look at the 10-day trend. So again, flirting with that triple-digit mark today, all right? And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some of us did see 100 degrees today in the valley. I just wouldn't. So we'll see, but there's a bigger downward trend after that. We're down in the 80s for everyone in the valley by Thursday, as early as really tomorrow in some spots. But we're down to the upper 70s by Saturday. That's really the bigger story on Saturday. Not necessarily the rain, because I don't think we're going to see a lot. It's the cooler temperatures. But then you see how we see our upward trend. 84 is that normal high, but we'll be just slightly above that. But nothing unusual, nothing that's too terribly hot, not bad for for this time of the year. We're finally getting more of those seasonable temperatures, especially for the weekend and early next week. And it's just kind of a quick reminder. I saw on social media saying someone saying that when they saw it was 100 degrees in October here, last few days, they said, I don't remember, having lived here for as long as I have, I don't remember Reading seeing temperatures in October. Well, that's not necessarily the case. In fact, historically speaking, the latest we've reached 100 degrees or higher in Reading was October 14th. So as late as mid-October, we can sometimes still see triple digits. And of course, that goes without saying, 90s, right? So this is, to see what we're seeing here, yes, it's uncommon, it's unusual, but it's not terribly uncommon. We can many times have seen triple digits in October. It can happen. So we get these late season heat waves, but then eventually once it does drop, we drop and it stays that way. So again, just kind of a quick reminder that, we can see these triple digits well into October sometimes. So we look at those wave heights for today. They're not going to be much of a concern. It looks like on Wednesday, though, those wave heights may begin to increase a little bit here. So that may cause a bit of a concern if you do need to be on a small boat. But for today, no small craft advisories. Just some of that dense fog that we will be dealing with here, just kind of remind you that it's dense fog already on the coast. Most likely, there will be some of that dense fog as you start heading out more and more into sea. All right, so those winds from the north at 5 to 10 knots, waves from the north at 3 feet at 5 seconds, and from the northwest at 5 feet at about 14 seconds. All right, so here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures mainly in the 80s. Hey, we'll take that. Temperatures dropping. There's that slight chance. So again, keep in mind, I'm still keeping the chance for showers in there on Saturday, but for everyone, just don't count on much, if anything. The best chances for any measurable rainfall will most likely be on the coast and maybe some of those inland areas, but even then, it's not that impressive. 87 for Orleans, 79 degrees for Gasquet, and there you can see Smith River about 71 degrees. Let's take you to Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Those temperatures are slowly dropping, low 70s by Friday and Saturday, back in the upper 70s by Sunday and Monday. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast for today, mainly in the 80s here as well. 80 degrees out towards Cedarville, 84 in Alturas, and 81 degrees in Aden. We take you to the Eastern Mountains, 85 for Bernie, as well as Shingletown. Looks like 86 out in Susanville and Doyle, about 86 degrees. Temperatures slowly dropping. Mid-70s by Saturday, upper 70s return by Sunday into Monday. Your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, brought to you by Walgamith Painting. Your temperatures will be in the mid-90s for Corning southward. Even some low 90s in there, places like Biggs, about 93. All right, let's take it up to the north. There you can see more like 97. So again, we're talking 97, 98. So could we see 99, 100? Sure, not out of the question. So Mother Nature just may not be done with us just yet with those triple digits. We'll see. But I think for the most part, we should stay below 100 degrees for everyone in the valley today. But there you can see that slight chance for showers on Saturday. Don't count on much. If anything, the main story again will be cooler temperatures, especially on Saturday. Struggling to get out of the 70s for those daytime highs. Looking good, right? But temperatures back in the mid to upper 80s, but still nothing unusual for this time of the year by the time we get into Sunday and Monday. That is your morning update. I'll be back at noon for your latest update. Then, of course, after that at 6 o'clock. Have a great morning and the rest of your afternoon.